Our final speaker tonight is an independence warrior, someone who had the pleasure of meeting personally recently, someone who spent 9 years in the Scottish Parliament as an SNP elected MSP and has spent 55 years as a member of the SNP. He's been fighting for independence almost as long as I've been living. He's now left the SNP to form another organisation, but he's certainly not left to fight for independence. Dave Thompson, let us know why it is you've set up the Alliance for Independence.
Well, thank you, Tommy, for that wonderful introduction. It's really good to be on tonight. And yes, you're right, I joined the SNP back in 1965, and I've campaigned through thick and thin all that time, through the good times, through the bad times. I know what it's like to win. I know what it's like to lose. But a couple of years ago, I began seriously thinking about the whole issue of the use of the regional list vote in the Scottish Parliament. And, you know, the Unionists have been urging tactical voting for years. Up in the Highlands here, where I was an MSP, you would always get the Lib Dems saying that only they could keep the SNP out, and urging the Labour and Tory voters to vote Lib Dem to keep the SNP out, to tactically vote. So when this whole thing began to be talked about again, well over a year ago, I thought to myself, I actually dropped a wee letter to the National, and then someone got in touch with me. We got together. We found out that there were a number of people in the Central Belt interested in this as well. So we all came together on the 2nd of February this year for our first meeting. And that is basically when the Alliance for Independence was formed. And the whole idea in the Alliance is that we're not just a normal political party. We're not a party that has set up just to promote our own general policies and so on. What the Alliance is all about is independence for Scotland. And we don't have any other policies other than independence. So all of the individuals who will stand for the Alliance, and the Yes groups who will come on board through our regional groups, because Yes groups can join us, and indeed the smaller parties who we're urging to come together and work with us, to come under our umbrella, to stand under our banner, they'll be able to keep all their own policies as long as they back independence. Now, the interesting thing is, many folks said to us, you'll never get that model accepted for registration. Well, we have had the model accepted. The Electoral Commission have no problem with us, with smaller parties joining the Alliance for Independence, which we'll have to register as a party to be able to stand. So we've established that principle. So what we now need to do is get all the small parties to come together, to unite, because if we are united and we can pull the whole vote, and not just to vote, the activists and the folk who are keen to get independence, if we can get the Yes groups to come on board and join their regional groups of AFI, and of course as many individuals as we can mobilize a massive army of people who can get round the doors, knocking on the doors, delivering leaflets, doing whatever we need to do over the next just over 7 months to the Holyrood election. So we can create a very powerful pro-independence force. What we need is for people to accept and come on board and help us. Now, what's the most important thing about next year? It is the fact that I believe, and I think everyone I speak to now in the independence movement believes, it's going to be, it must be, it has to be the independence election. We've got to motivate the public out there to come out and vote for independence next year. If you look at the turnouts in previous years when independence was highlighted, the turnout in the elections is always much higher. So we intend to motivate people to come out and vote, which will benefit the SNP. The SNP on current polling, and if we can increase the turnout, will get a massive majority in the constituencies alone. That means they'll get virtually nothing on the regional lists. And that's where AFI comes in. That's where our United Alliance comes in, that we can then scoop up a lot of the votes, the people who would normally vote SNP with their second regional list vote, and lots of yes voters who want to vote yes on the regional list, but don't maybe want to vote for the SNP. If we can get them all voting for us, all we actually need is one person in 8 who normally would vote SNP on the regional list to vote for the alliance, and that will give us 8 seats. If we get a quarter of the people, and there were 1 million people voted SNP last time on the regional list, and they got 4 seats, if we get a quarter of them, we'll get 16 seats. And if we can get a half of them, we'll get 24 seats. Now, we think this is a prize well worth fighting for, because imagine a parliament in Edinburgh with 70 SNP constituency MSPs, all rooting for independence. And then on top of that, another 24 Alliance MSPs who are pro-Indie. That would give you 94 MSPs in the Scottish Parliament who are after independence. And by definition, that would leave you with only 35 unionists. And what do the unionists do just now? They come in there and they talk Scotland down. They try to trip up the SNP government and the coalition with the Greens when they come together. They try to trip them up all the time. We can put a stop to that. People who vote SNP with their second regional vote on the list are more or less, most constituencies, regions at the moment, wasting their votes. Backing the alliance, they can make their votes count. They can send a massive message to Westminster that Scotland and the Scottish people want independence, and we don't want unionist MSPs in our parliament. So it's a very simple concept. Our slogan is Max the Yes. Maximize the yes vote. Use the system that was basically set up to stop the SNP ever getting a majority. Use that system to max the yes. Create a super majority of pro-independence MSPs in the Scottish Parliament. What's not to like about that? So first vote, SNP. Second vote, the Alliance. And I would make a plea to all the smaller parties. Be bold. Come together with us. We'll all work together. We're a bottom-up alliance. We're not a top-down alliance. We want people to come on board now to help us to build this alliance over the coming months and to get a massive supermajority in the Scottish Parliament next May.
Brilliant, Dave. Thank you very much for a very, very eloquent exposition of common sense, of logic, because what you've been talking there is just fact. People may disagree with tactics and they may disagree with strategy. You're entitled to your own opinion, but you're not entitled to your own facts when it comes to this debate. And the fact is, almost 1,953,000 people gave their second vote to the SNP in 2016, and it produced only 4 seats and only 2 of the regional lists. That's simply not good enough. I hope that people see the sense in what you're saying. Thank you very much, brother.